Hey guys, so you probably have seen this flyer around campus and I'm finally here to share what it's about. So I do have one question for your college students. Can you name the last vegetables that you ate and what it did to your body? I'll give you a second.
2 hours later.
You probably can't, or if you do know what you ate last, you probably don't know what it does to your body, but I'm actually going over how eating and increasing more vegetables into your diet can actually benefit your health. So about half of American adults have one or more preventable chronic diseases, and most are related to poor diets. And honestly, as college students, it's really hard to have a well-balanced diet, especially when you have 3 papers due next week, you have a test tomorrow, and you forgot to do your discussion last night. So the last thing you're thinking of is probably what you're going to eat for dinner. But increasing your vegetable intake, you could reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. They're full of vitamins and minerals, and they're usually low in fat and calories and contain no cholesterol. Me, I ultimately follow a vegetarian diet, so it's really not that difficult for me to get my intake of vegetables, but for other people it might be super hard because you're probably wondering, where do I even start and where do I put it in? So today that's what I'm going to be talking to you about. If you think of vegetables, you probably think of tomatoes, onions, but there's really so many things, and you also probably think that they're expensive and difficult to cook. But there's so many ways you could cook. You could fry, you can steam, you can poach. Like, there's literally so many things, and there's also so many vegetables you could do, like dark greens, red and orange, legumes count, there's starchy, and there's so many more that you could do. So vegetables can be frozen, they could be canned, they could be dried, and they could be fresh. The recommended amount of vegetables is about 2.5 cups. So an example of getting all of your recommended amount of vegetables for one day could be a half cup of green beans, it could be 2 cups of spinach, and 1 cup of zucchini. And honestly, if you put that in a bake in the morning, you could have that as meal prep, and it's super easy to warm up in the morning when you're rushing to school or trying to get all your studying done the night before. And it's really easy to just get your recommended already in one meal. So come with me to the grocery store and I will show you the difference of fresh, frozen, canned, and what you should pick to get the best for your buck and also the most nutritious options. In this video, I am showing a 6-ounce bag of spinach for $1.99. This is not too expensive for fresh vegetables, but when you compare it to a frozen, you can get a bag that is more than double the amount for the same price without it going bad in a week. The spinach is also wilted and chopped, so the volume of it is a lot more, and you wouldn't use the same amount as you would fresh. This is the best for your buck and contains all the same nutrients than fresh. Here is a super easy recipe that I made with added frozen spinach. I used about a cup worth of spinach in this pasta and it was easily distributed throughout. I have another question for you. What nutrient is spinach adding to my pasta dish? Here's another example with green beans. With this, there's a large increase of price. Fresh goes for about $2.99 to $5.99, but for organic and frozen, it's only about $2.49. It's a much better option for college students to get frozen. It cooks within minutes and gives lots of fiber and vitamins to any dish. Another example of choosing cheaper options at the store is looking at what's in season. Usually they're the cheapest produce and are the best tasting. Early November has Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, kale, and potatoes. Potatoes are extremely versatile and are extremely cheap. Squash is also in season and can be used for breakfast or even dinner. I will show you a recipe on how to make delicious potato leek soup that will warm you up in these cold months. It can also be frozen and reheated for those busy weeks. In this recipe, there is potatoes, leeks, herbs, and vegetable stock in my soup. The soup is full of vitamin A, C, and K from the leeks. Leeks also contain manganese, which is involved in the regulation of brain and nerve function, which is extremely important when studying for classes. Potatoes also contain many vitamins in the skin like potassium, and also contain carbohydrates that give your body energy. Canned vegetables can be a great option and have similar nutritional value, but you should really pay attention to the nutritional label. Sometimes there are stabilizers and extra salt added, and it's best to get the ones without. They're usually the most inexpensive and can be easily added to dinner. This week I am cooking up some red lentils in a tomato sauce using low-sodium canned vegetables. This dish uses dried lentils, canned tomatoes with no added salt, frozen spinach, and coconut milk. What 3 vitamins are the canned tomatoes giving me in this dish? Thank you again for watching. I really hope you learned something new today, and I hope that your next dishes are full of fun vegetables and it tastes delicious. Thanks, guys.